Hi friends, happy Thursday. I hope you're all doing well and I hope that you are all enjoying your summer thus far. So I need to film a YouTube video and I wasn't really sure what I was going to do because I had a list of a couple different ideas, and I decided that this would be a good video to do as a follow-up to the last video that I did where I prune and tie the tomatoes. And I have a lot of tomatoes out here that need to be picked. Today is supposed to get up to 100 and I really want to get them picked because I don't want them to get like cracked or anything. So I thought, why not take you guys along with me and show you all the different varieties that I'm growing in my garden this year. Alright, so this first row of tomatoes right here, this first part of this half row of tomatoes here is called Beefsteak. And to be honest, I've been a little disappointed with it because they haven't been really what I expected for a tomato. Let me get that one instead. They're really prone to cracking. Whoops. Well, you know, it just wasn't meant to be. Okay, there we go. See how they like just split along the bottom? And they're not, I mean, they're a good sized tomato, but they're definitely, last year I grew Beefmasters and I had some like big, huge, juicy slicers, and I did not get that with these. These were a lot smaller. And the plants are also acting like a determinate variety where they get short, where they're like short, and then they produce all their fruit at once. And I had a couple plants do that and die. So I don't know what the deal is, if this was some sort of a hybrid or what, but that is this tomato variety. So after the Beefsteak variety, which is right here, we have planted Brandywine. So I've never planted this variety before. I've heard really good things about it, but so far two of the big ones that I had, they rotted on the plant before they could get red. So I haven't gotten a good Brandywine yet, but here is a smaller one. There's a couple of small ones here. Not very big, but it's still pretty nice. I think I'll leave that one. But this is probably my biggest Brandywine I have. This is my biggest tomato so far. Look at that. Look at that. That's a handful. That's so big. So the next variety of tomato that I have planted is right across from the Beefsteaks, and this is Black Krim. Now the reason I love Black Krim so much is it has a great flavor, it's heat resistant, and it's crack resistant, and that's super nice. And it's also an heirloom. So I really like these. They are super tasty, and they are so beautiful. I mean, look how beautiful those are. They got like a nice deep pinky red with green shoulders. They're so beautiful. I just love these so much. And there's quite a lot on these plants. Alright, and then right after the Black Krims here, we go right into some early girls, which I like those pretty good. Those are pretty good tomatoes. There's quite a few on there too. Okay, so the next variety of tomato that I have growing in my garden is this rainbow blend. Now, what happened was I got cherry tomatoes, and when I was starting the seeds, they took a long time to germinate, so I thought they weren't going to come up, so I went and bought more seeds. One of the things I picked up that I thought was a cherry tomato was this right here, which was supposed to be a rainbow blend, and instead they all turned out to be these grape tomatoes. And they're not bad at all. I probably would rather have a cherry tomato just because they're a lot smaller, and they're a better snacking tomato, but I've ended up with like these little, kind of like bigger than a cherry tomato, and they're really good, but I don't know if I would have bought those on my own accord. But all of the quote-unquote rainbow blend, yeah, I got all grape tomatoes, so I don't know if that's like false advertising or what the deal is, but they all were the same thing. They were supposed to be a mixture of like green and pink and red and burgundy and black and a whole thing, but I got all grape tomatoes. So just for reference, here's the grape tomato and here's the cherry tomato. So there you go. So behind me are the Roma tomatoes. Now this variety I have planted every single year, and every single year without fail whether it's from seed or store-bought, they always get blossom end rot for me. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong, but this is the only variety in the garden that without fail, I lose almost all of them to blossom end rot. And I don't know why. So that is something that I need to figure out what is up with this specific variety. And this year they have a lot of aphids on them. That was new. But yeah, the blossom end rot. Problematic. I spoke too soon. Look. Romas! These are my first ones of the season too. Aren't they beautiful? That's exciting. So this is the next variety of tomato. It is called Cherry Super Sweet 100 Hybrid. And they're so good. So to be completely honest with you, this is my first year ever having success with cherry tomatoes since we moved down here to Georgia. We have not been able to have success with that, and this is our first year with really, really good success with that. I don't have a lot to show for it though, because we just eat them all on the plant outside. So yeah, but I really like this variety, and I was really happy and really excited when they did as well as they did. So that's all I got on that. So here is a funny story about this cherry Gardener's Delight tomato that I ended up with. So the reason I ended up with these tomatoes is because the way the seeds were labeled at the store, everything that was like a slicer tomato said tomato in front of it, and everything that was a cherry said cherry at the front of it, and then said tomato at the end. So I thought that these were cherry tomatoes, but they turned out to be these. So I'm not complaining, but that was definitely unexpected because I didn't know that they weren't until they were actually growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, okay, these cherry tomatoes are on some growth hormones or something. So there you go. So the rest of the way down on these rows, these are actually just like volunteer tomatoes. So they're just kind of like whatever came up, I don't really know. But a lot of them have turned out to be Romas. So hello blossom rot. And I just threw some beefsteaks at the end, so that's pretty much all that's going on down there. A volunteer tomato is just a tomato that came up. These came out of my compost bin. I dug them up and moved them, but a volunteer plant is just something that comes up. You did not plant it, but you just left it and you let it grow. In my case, these were volunteers that I moved because I wanted them to grow on trellising systems. I do have some ripe beefsteaks down here. That's a funky looking one. These ones down here are the volunteer ones, and they've got some pretty good sized tomatoes on there. Go ahead and pull. Ooh. Ew. That one's really nasty. That's really gross. Okay, well, it was a volunteer. It was a freebie anyways. But that's nice. It's a good tomato. Now that is a full basket of tomatoes. That's really heavy. Well, the basket just broke. That was nice. I'll get a bucket. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whenever you're watching this. Please give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to hit that big red subscribe button and hit the bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a brand new video. And comment down below what your favorite thing to grow in the garden is. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to go make another basket. Bye.